fans of different backgrounds. Man, so this match, mainly from the Steiners, I was thoroughly impressed. I've always loved the Steiners. I don't like Scott Steiner as what he became with Big Papa Pump, but in terms of talent, these Steiner guys, they're super talented. Mainly during the match, one of the things I noticed is that Scott was definitely made to look strong in this match. Like he would block a DDT. Rick was the main one that got usually beat up on during the matches or caught the heat in that match. Then there was a hot tag to Scott, and he nails a Frankensteiner, things like that. So after the hot tag to Scott, he went to go pin the wrong Freebird. Rick does a suplex to the right Freebird, drags Scott on top of the Freebird for the Steiners to win.
Yep.
What did you think of this match?
I thought it was good. Honestly, the weird thing about it is I don't have it typed in my dang notes, but I give that match a 6. Honestly, it was. I know it was a really good match. Good story and good action. So I thought they brought it.
Yeah, they definitely did. I actually gave it a 7 because of that. They definitely did. I remember seeing the Steiners in like old tapes that I had around the house back right before he became Papa Pump because when I started watching WCW, he was already Big Papa Pump in the NWO.
Oh, okay.
But I went back and saw some old tapes and stuff like that because someone gave me a 1996 Road Wild, I think it was, which is right before he switched over. So I've seen some of his matches. I definitely dig the Steiner's work.
Did you see the match? His heel turn. Steiner's
Since then, yes, I saw it on the network about 3 years ago.
Okay, yeah. Let's make sure you saw that. So.
Yeah, it still, and you can kind of tell that WCW favored Scott out of the two, even though honestly, I think Rick should have had a better following, especially as a dog-faced gremlin. Yeah. I think he could have had more there, especially if they booked him stronger.
Yeah, after that, they just lost their momentum on Rick. I think he had a couple of years left, and he pretty much retired for the most part. I mean, I know he's been retired for a while, but
yeah, he comes back periodically and does stuff with Scotty. I think it was like last year or the year before he did something with Scott Steiner and Impact. Where Scott was teaming with a heel and the face brought in Rick for a tag team match and they worked against each other. So then there was a Ross and Bob Caudle segment. Immediately after, Vicious and Arn and Wenham had their 6-man tag against El Gigante, the Junkyard Dog, and Paul and Orndorff. This was interesting. So they start off with Arn and Orndorff, but then Arn backs away, tags in Sid Vicious, and Sid Vicious kind of starts working over Orndorff. Basically just overpowers him everywhere he was going.
Big dude.
There was a weird backslide to Vicious, and I don't know if you caught this. Junkyard Dog just comes in and starts headbutting Vicious so Orndorff can get the backslide down over.
Yeah.
So, they continue the match. They kind of work in El Gigante a little bit, which I don't remember who he was called when he faced The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
He was called Giant Gonzalez. That's
Giant Gonzalez.
Honestly, that's what I typed in my phone. That's what I say that better. I can't do El Gigante.
Gigante.
Yeah, I just say Giant Gonzalez. That was a better name anyways. But
it was.
He was not. His persona, or at least his acting on there was pretty good, fair, but as a wrestler, wasn't what he just had a big presence. That was about it. Wasn't what you call wrestler, but it was all right for his size. He had the attraction to his size.
Yeah, he did, and they kind of played up the fact that he's bigger than everybody else, so they had that fear factor thrown in there. And one of the things I noted down here, which I completely forgot to mention this in the beginning of the review of this match, they're called the Dudes with Attitude. There was a couple of references to that. Am I wrong in thinking that that's what Nash and Michaels called themselves, like not even 5 or 6 years later?
I guess I didn't even think about that.
Wasn't that what the tag team was called with Nash and Michaels?
I thought I can recall it, but I could be wrong. It could have been, but I just don't recall that name being for them. But if someone's out there listening, tell us, correct us. But I just can't recall. If it was, and it was, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm pretty sure it was.
You got some notes there?
I'm actually looking it up real quick because now it's going to bug me. It's two dudes with attitude. Very,
very, very similar.
Very similar, but yeah, I made a note of wasn't this Nash and Hall or Nash and Michaels?
Yeah.
Either way, Junkyard Dog, Gigante, and Orndorff win via disqualification. What'd you think?
3.8.
3.8?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up doing a 3. The only thing I found really interesting is how they are seeing Vicious tag team with Horsemen, which seems really, really weird, but the attraction of Gigante, that's the only thing I found interesting.
One thing I didn't like WCW. I wish they would have done a little bit more with Junkyard Dog in this run with WCW. I thought he would have had he had a really good with WWF, but I feel like they could have done more with him in his time there.
Yeah. Everyone seems to drop the ball every now and then with at least one person.
Oh, yeah.
WWE's done it plenty of times over.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Next was Gordon Solie with Lex Luger, and this actually transitioned to the Lex Luger match. Yep. Lex Luger versus Mean Mark Callis. The Undertaker here, he definitely looked more athletic than he did and for several years with the WWF.
Yeah. All different character, and we started off, he was slow in the ring, but obviously over the years and years, he was able to speed it up, but he's a dead man, so they made him slower. But yeah, obviously when he's Mean Mark Callis, WCW, you've seen his athleticism a lot more.
Yeah, I watched him do a drop toe hold, and it's like, I have never seen The Undertaker do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, I understand Undertaker was athletic for a big guy. He definitely was doing the over-the-top rope jumps and things like that.
Oh, yeah, that came on later on. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. He says, yeah, well, as the years progress and his WWF run, they allowed him to show more of his athleticism, and obviously years go on. But, yeah, you can see a difference in there. Obviously, what's interesting. It was like 4 months after this match, he debuted as the Undertaker.
Right. Yeah. Was it 94?
No, 1990.
You said 4 years. Did you mean 4 months?
Oh! I'm sorry. I thought I said 4 months. Yeah, I thought I said 4 months. Yeah, 4 months later, he debuted as the Undertaker.
Yeah, when you said 4 years, I'm like 1994. That seems really, really late. Okay,
no.
Yeah, which makes more sense now
because
he debuted at Survivor Series, didn't he?
Yeah, Survivor Series. 4 years later, he would have been facing the Undertaker at SummerSlam, Taker versus Taker.
I was just gonna ask you if you misspoke there because I'm like the Undertaker faced the Undertaker, but yeah, I remember that the Taker versus Taker thing.
Yeah, that was in SummerSlam '94. Yeah, no, I didn't misspoke. That was actually Brian Lee, by the way. But anyways, that's
Brian Lee. Wasn't he
Taker's? I think he's Taker's cousin. I think that's a rumor going, but yeah, I think it's Taker's cousin, Brian Lee. That was just a one-off thing.
Wasn't he something else in WCW?
No, you're talking about Big Brian Adams, probably. Chronic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was. I thought he was either Brian Adams or Brian Clark, but yeah, just too many different names.
Clark was, I believe that was Brian Adams' tag partner in Chronic.
Yeah, but they both were in WWF. One was part of Demolition, the other one was Atom Bomb, and I couldn't tell you which one was which.
I'm talking about later on.
One was Crush, and one was Atom Bomb. Yeah.
Yeah, Crush. Yeah, it's Big Brian Adams.
Either way, so this one match was interesting because they kind of told this whole story of power struggle between Mark and Lex Luger, who was the strongest, who was
Yeah.
It was a more powerful one. And one of the things I found interesting is Paul Heyman was just all over the place interfering.
Yeah.
We talked about this throughout a lot of matches. This finish was garbage.
Yeah, it wasn't really what I would have expected, honestly. It really wasn't. I mean, I just felt like there could be more to it, but yeah. I get it is what it is. I mean, if you fast forward it several years later, you would see that Luger would use his elbow at clothesline as sometimes more set up for the torture rack, but it was more or less that elbow thing was part of it. He's entered some matches off just the elbow.
Yeah,
I mean,
the bionic forearm because he had a metal plate in his forearm.
Yeah, that was the story of it.
Yeah. That finish was garbage. He does his clothesline, and that was it.
Yeah, I know. I was not happy with that one.
Right, and did you know? So I thought the ref did a fast count there. It seemed like the count went way faster.
I thought it was a little bit fast, and I noticed the same thing.
So I don't know what they did after this because I really hope that it would build towards some sort of match with the Undertaker and Lex Luger again because that was ridiculous fast count. Yeah, and I'm really hoping WCW took advantage of what Paul Heyman could do and let him cut a promo about that. Either way, what did you end up rating this?
I ended up rating it a 5.
Same. It was sitting at about 6 to 7, and then that finish, I had to deduct a point.
Yeah, I understand that one. That was just not the finish for it, but
it just
you
had so much going on, and these finishes seem so cheap.
I know. And I have to wonder, because they, the executives, they didn't see a whole lot in Mean Mark and the big picture in the future. So I have to wonder they were just like kind of just being lackadaisical with it. That's my guess. But they were not behind them on after a while. So maybe that was the reason for that. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, it could be. I just remember watching this and like, this is the roll up of today. So the next thing we had was the Gordon Soley with Sting, first thing to cut a promo, non-face painted, and I get it. Surfer Sting was a look back in the day, but it still throws me off.
Really?
Yeah, because when I became a fan, Sting had the long dark hair, the crow face.
Oh no, I understand. I get it. It's just early day stuff, and he has that little ponytail on the back.
That's what was it called? That was called a rat's tail back in the day.
Rat's tail, yeah.
And this led into the World Tag Team Title match between the Rock and Roll Express and Doom with Teddy Long, which was Ron Simmons and Butch Reed. This one was one of those where the manager interfered a lot from Teddy Long. There was a lot of shenanigans with Teddy Long.
Yeah, that was. It's sometimes good to have the manager. Teddy Long's pretty good manager back in that time frame, and it was okay. I mean,
Player, you gotta face the Undertaker.
Huh?
When he was the SmackDown general manager. Yeah. Player, you gotta face the Undertaker.
The Undertaker. That's who you're facing. That was always cool. I always liked that. He always brought Undertaker in for cleaning up his dirty work.
Yeah. So, but Doom actually looked pretty good here. Definitely had some power. They made references to Ron Simmons being from Florida State a few times. They talked about Butch Reed's longevity and what he was able to do prior to forming a tag team with Ron Simmons. And Rock and Roll Express, or the Rock and Roll Express, which oddly enough, Ricky Morton looks almost exactly like he does now. Like it looks like he stayed 50 years old forever.
Yeah.
Robert Gibson does not look the same at all. He definitely lost a lot of hair. But ultimately, Doom came out on top. What did you think of this one?
I had rated it a 4.
Mm-hmm.
I just it was okay. I wasn't really impressed with it, but it was good. It was okay.
Yeah, Doom looked good, but overall, I would say the The tag matches with Midnight Express and the Southern Boys and the Steiner Brothers and the Fabulous Freebirds were